Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Today's video is going to be on upgrading your old Mercedes key to the new style. You can see the older style has a round panic button and the newer style has the triangle, as well as the buttons themselves are actual buttons, not just flat like the older style. Which you can see here, they kind of crack in time because you're just pushing on the plastic. And then you can see over here, they actually have buttons. So it's a whole lot nicer fob and is the newer style. They started using them probably 2009, 2010. So I ordered this key shell off of eBay. I'll have a link to it in the description below. And today we're going to switch the board from the old key into the new key fob. And there's no programming needed or involved in this because you're just swapping your board into a new shell. So I'll show you that process here. There is one thing you do need to be aware of, and that is another key that looks exactly like this one here, but is a one battery setup. So the back pops off and you have a one battery setup versus the tray style that the older key has that has two batteries. And I'll show you the newer one here. Once I get it apart, it's the tray style as well. So you just got to watch the listings if you use a different link or if the link would happen to change, but there is a newer style even than the two battery tray one that has now gone to just a single one battery, and that will not work because the board and the key is totally different. The back just pops off to get to the battery versus the whole tray sliding out. So just avoid the single battery with the back that pops off and you'll be good. Alright, so we can get rid of this plastic bag. This key just comes in a plastic bag and then in an envelope. So nothing special there. And then if your key is like mine, another good reason to buy a new fob is you can see the button is actually missing. So on this one you actually have to stick a pin in here to release your key. Whereas the new one here has the button. So you can just push it. It's a plastic, hard to see. But you can see there the ridges, it's a plastic button. Over time they break and this one is long gone. So you got to use a pin to push this and release your key. So first thing, you got to get this key out. And then you can actually use the key. It has kind of like a hook on. And if you look down inside here, there's a little tab. And you just use the hook end of the key to release that. And then you can slide the entire battery tray out. So there's your two battery tray. And then down inside here, you can see the board. So next up, you will need to slide that out. You can use a pair of tweezers or anything. You just need to be very careful because there is some diodes real close to this plastic ear, which is meant for pulling it out. So you just need to get under that. And it could be stuck, especially if your key is as old as mine, because this is from an 08. And you just slowly pull on this tab here. And just like that, the board will come out. So now this old fob is completely empty. There's nothing down in there at all. So next up, we'll get the new fob ready. It does come with a blank key. So if you were missing one or it was a used fob that you had and the key wasn't cut right, this does come with a blank. So you just hold this latch over and you can slide the key out and there you'll be. It's a fresh blank. If you'd want a spare or to have it cut, that's in case the fob goes dead, you can use this in your doors. But we won't be using that. I will just use the one that is cut. So the same thing. Once you get the key out, you can use the hook part of the key down in here on that tab again. Pull it and then slide the battery tray out. If your fob hasn't had the batteries replaced in a while, this would be a perfect time to get new ones. These here take the CR 2025s. These batteries are brand new. I just got them because they were getting dead in this key fob, but I finally got the new fob here in the mail because these buttons were getting wore. So you can transfer them over to the new one. It's marked plus there. It's pretty self-explanatory. The same as the old one. So now that part is ready. And then the next thing is the new key fob. You can see these little plastic tabs down in there. It's very hard to see, but you can kind of see them there. There's little plastic ears. You'll see it when you're doing this process. And you just got to make sure you put the board in with these buttons facing the keypad. And you got to make sure you get it in that slot. That's what holds the board. So it kind of got to go in just like that. And then you just slide it right up in. And then you can kind of see there, right in the corner where the plastic gears are that hold the board tight against the buttons on the other side. Just make sure it's the whole way in and seated tight. And the board is swapped over to the new key. That's how simple it is. The next thing you want to do is take your batteries. The batteries go towards the back of the key. And then you'll line that up and slide it in. The new key does come with a real nice seal around the edge to somewhat waterproof that. So I believe that is an upgrade over the older key too. And then you get it in there close. And again, you'll need your key to pull on that tab and finish pushing it in the whole way. You got to make sure there's no gap between the plastic and the chrome. That way you know it's completely in and latched. So at this point, the key fob is ready to use. I should be able to push these buttons and you'll see a little red light up there. That way you know it's working. You can see it flash there. And then you just take your cut key and slide it back in. And there you are. You have a brand new fob without all the worn buttons. The upgraded panic button versus the hard plastic one. Actual buttons for the fob itself. And if yours was broke on the release, you now have one with the release for the key. And overall, it's just the newer style and looks so much better. And having the buttons, I think, will be huge versus these other style, because you really had to push them hard. And as the fobs aged, the plastic got just worn and brittle. And like I said, you can see there, it's actually broke. So I think this fob will be a whole lot nicer. And again, like I said, the link will be in the description below to this fob. And like I said, this is just for the dual battery tray style key that this works for. So anything probably up until 2010, maybe 2011 in there. I think by 2012, they all even came with this style key. And soon after that, they were going to the one battery pop-off back key. But for any style like this that was the original key, this is a real nice upgrade. And is extremely cheap. No programming involved because you swap the board yourself. So it doesn't need to be programmed. As long as you have a key that works and there's nothing wrong with the board, you're good to go. Alright guys, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below. If you're new here to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Again, a link to this product will be in the description below, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to keep these videos coming. You can also follow me on Facebook. The link is in the description below.